Welcome to the One Stop Podcast where we talk sports and, of course, we in the cars. So today is Car Talk. And, I was going through some podcast stuff like I always do. I check out SiriusXM, I check out Apple, I check out Spotify, just all kind of stuff. I just love podcast content at this point in my life, right? I'm really getting into this podcast thing. I mean, I don't know where it's going to go for me, but at this point, I just love content from podcasts. I love it. So I stumbled across Kevin Hart's new show, Comedy Gold Mines. And his guest this week, I would say, or maybe it was last week, I didn't really check the date on it, but he had Monique on. And, Monique has always been a good draw for content. She's a good listen. And at the end of the day, Monique's a legend. She's a legend. So why not click on that interview with, Kevin Hart, who I'm a fan of, and Monique, who's a legend. So we gotta click on that, right? I click on it and I listen through the podcast entirely. I actually listened to that podcast twice. For me, that's how good that conversation was. And I actually like this platform that Kevin Hart is doing right now. I mean, it's a bunch of his friends that's coming on from the comedic world, and they're really just having like a conversation like they would normally have. There's no scripted to it. There's no set of questions that he want to ask or anything like that. It's just, you could tell it's just someone he knows that he's had interaction with before, that he's dealt with, and they're just talking, right? And man, listening to that interview, or that conversation with Monique, people, it's time to give Monique her career back. It's time. Like, I did not realize it's been 11 years since that shit with Precious went down. The whole issue with Tyler Perry, Oprah, and Lee Daniels, right? I don't know, it's been 11 years. 11 years, my people in the media, people that have had bad things to say about Monique, it's really time for us to give this woman her career back. And to be honest, I know I may have said some things and I didn't have all the fucking facts to it, right? I may have said some things like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? But listen to that interview. I think this is the first time I actually got to really listen to Monique and actually got to hear her converse with someone who was actually willing to listen to her instead of like telling her, well, Monique, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is what it is, right? So I'm listening to this interview and a few things stuck out to me, right? And I'm gonna go with the big one first that stuck out to me that she said. All right. Now, Monique has been on a comedy grind with all these comedians, man. Black, I'm pretty sure white, Hispanics, Asians, everybody she's been on this comedy grind with. And nobody spoke up for her, basically saying, that I don't know what's going on with Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah with Monique, but my interaction with Monique has always been good, right? No one, I don't recall, and if I'm wrong, y'all please come back and tell me. I'm not opposed to like saying, hey man, bro, you're wrong on this one, right? I don't remember anyone doing that. So when she brought up the fact when the stuff went down with Ellen, and how many people came out and basically was like, hey, I can't speak for, the issues that her employers have with her. But for me, Ellen has always been this and that, right? Like, people were willing to come out and speak for Ellen in that moment. But damn, I don't recall anybody doing that for Monique, right? Whether she was right or wrong in her handling of not wanting quote unquote promote the movie or whatnot, because even listen to the interview, and I'm not gonna go crazy what the interview was because I want you guys to go listen for yourselves. The show is Comedy Gold Mines. It's on Sirius XM Radio. It's the Monique episode. I want you guys to listen to this episode yourself. So I'm not gonna go super crazy on it because I really want you guys to go listen to it. But the quote unquote her not promoting the movie, like that's her, Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler Perry's issue with each other. That had nothing to do with all the other relationships she had formed in that time. So when you think about all the people, as well as Kevin Hart, which he mentioned himself that as one of those people who did not reach out to her, right? When you think about all those people who came out for Ellen in that moment to just say, I understand what they're saying, but I don't know Ellen that way. Y'all, we should have did that for Monique. No, my fact, her peers should have done that for her. In all honesty, they should have. And Monique, I apologize for, I don't know if I may have said stuff, but I know I thought some things like, man, Monique probably should have just took this one on the chin and like, you know, she could have got it on the next go round, because I didn't know that you were promised, I think you said 5% of that film. Now granted, we know how crazy our people, not just Hollywood, our people can be. Whereas you got to get that in writing in the contract. You just got to. No matter how, if you don't think that movie's going anywhere, what, you got to get that in the contract. But again, I get what you're saying. You was trusting somebody who wanted to do this independent film with you, and you trusted in his guy and you believed in that person's vision. So I get it. I honestly wish you would have had that written out so it wouldn't have been no craziness. But just like Will Smith and Janet, first Aunt Viv, sat down and Will admitted his wrongs, and how Will, you know, let her speak, let her get her things off her chest, and how she just said she wanted her career back. I think she said maybe it was 27 years. Y'all, it's been 11 years for Monique. It's really time for us to give this woman her career back. Like, she's one of our greats. She's one of our legends. We all watched the Monique show. We all remember when Monique had the talk show. Like, it's time, people. So Monique, from this small platform of the One Stop Podcast, myself, because I do this with my co-host, Varno. So I can't speak for him, but I'll speak for me on this one. I apologize for the things that I didn't know, right? And I think it's time for you to have your career back, for whatever that may be worth. But from somebody from a small platform that really normally just talks sports, in all honesty, it's time for you to get your career back. And I hope Kevin come through on his word, and you guys have that talk, and these people come out and just do the Will Smith thing, man. Just let you have your moment and just say, hey, before all this whatever, I've always known Monique to be a good person, right? Let's forget all the stuff that happened, because nobody can give you the 11 years of BS that you've been through. But what everybody can do now is respect your past work and give you an opportunity to go forward in the work you're doing today. So, much love, Monique. And again, this is the One Stop Podcast, where we normally talk sport, but in the car edition sometimes we do a little entertainment and personal life stuff as well. Peace.